Heartbroken Bobcat loses her cubs. What she did next for these orphaned puppies will amaze you. She had chosen her den with meticulous care, a sheltered hollow beneath the gnarled roots of an ancient oak, hidden from the keen eyes of eagles and the probing noses of coyotes. It was a sanctuary, lined with soft moss and dried leaves, a cradle prepared with unwavering instinct for the precious lives soon to arrive. Luna spent her days basking in the warm sun, her belly round and heavy, dreaming of the tiny, mewling forms that would soon nuzzle against her, their soft fur a balm to her soul. She was a creature of the wild, solitary by nature, but the maternal instinct that now coursed through her veins was a powerful, all-consuming force, a primal symphony of love and anticipation. The world, for Luna, was about to become infinitely richer, filled with the pitter-patter of tiny paws and the soft purr of contented kits. Then the world shattered. A sudden, violent storm unlike any Luna had witnessed in her years descended upon the forest. Trees groaned and snapped, rain lashed down in blinding sheets, and the river, usually a gentle murmur, swelled into a raging torrent. Luna, huddled deep within her den, felt the earth tremble, the air crackle with an ominous energy. She pressed herself against the cold earth, her heart a frantic drum against her ribs as the storm raged for what felt like an eternity. When the dawn finally broke, weak and watery, it revealed a landscape transformed. The air was thick with the scent of ozone and broken timber, and the once familiar path to her den was now a treacherous, muddy expanse. With a growing sense of dread, Luna emerged, her legs heavy, her instincts screaming a warning she desperately tried to ignore. The ancient oak, her sanctuary, was no longer. Its mighty roots, once a fortress, had been undermined by the relentless floodwaters, and the tree lay sprawled, a colossal ruin. Her den, her carefully prepared haven, was gone, swallowed by the churning earth, buried under tons of mud and debris. She clawed at the sodden earth, frantic, desperate, her keen nose searching for the faintest scent of her newborns. But there was nothing, only the cold, wet smell of destruction. The storm had claimed them, her tiny, fragile kits, before they had even known the warmth of her tongue or the comfort of her fur. Days bled into weeks, each one a dull ache in Luna's heart. She roamed the forest like a ghost, her hunts half-hearted, her spirit broken. The vibrant energy that had once defined her was extinguished, replaced by a profound, desolate emptiness. She would often return to the site of her lost den, sitting for hours amidst the tangled roots and settling mud, a silent sentinel of grief. The forest, once a place of belonging, now felt vast and indifferent, a cruel reminder of what she had lost. Her sleek body grew thinner. Her eyes, once bright and alert, held a haunted, faraway look. The instinct to nurture, so recently overwhelming, now had no outlet, no purpose. She was a mother without children, a protector without anyone to shield, and the weight of that unfulfilled love pressed down on her, suffocating her very will to live. One sweltering afternoon, as the summer sun beat down relentlessly, Luna was drawn by a faint, unfamiliar sound. It was a high-pitched, whimpering cry, thin and desperate, carried on the breeze from the direction of the old logging road. Her first instinct was to ignore it, to retreat further into the comforting silence of her solitude. But something about the sound, a raw vulnerability that resonated with her own deep-seated pain, compelled her forward. Cautiously, she approached, her tawny form melting into the undergrowth, her senses on high alert. What she found stopped her cold. Tucked precariously beneath a thorny bramble bush, exposed to the harsh sun and the lurking dangers of the wild, were 3 tiny, shivering bundles of fur. Puppies. Not the sleek, spotted forms of her own kind, but small, clumsy creatures with floppy ears and soft, unseeing eyes. They were barely more than newborns, their cries weak with hunger and fear, their small bodies trembling uncontrollably. They had clearly been abandoned, left to face the unforgiving wilderness alone. A wave of conflicting emotions washed over Luna, a flicker of primal suspicion, a pang of sorrow for their plight, and beneath it all, a stirring of that dormant, powerful maternal instinct. She watched them for a long time, hidden in the shadows, observing their desperate attempts to huddle together for warmth, their pitiful whimpers for a mother who would never come. The scent of their vulnerability, their utter helplessness, was overwhelming. It was a stark mirror to her own recent loss, a raw wound in the fabric of the forest. Slowly, cautiously, Luna emerged from the undergrowth. The puppies, sensing her presence, whimpered louder, their tiny noses twitching blindly. She circled them once, then twice, her tail twitching, her ears swiveling. Her mind, usually so clear and decisive, was a whirlwind of instinct and confusion. These were not her kind. They were different. But their need, their desperate, undeniable need, was a language she understood intimately. One of the puppies, a small, dark-furred one, let out a particularly heart-wrenching cry, its little body convulsing with a shiver. In that moment, something shifted within Luna. The wall of grief that had encased her heart began to crack. She saw not just puppies, but vulnerable, innocent lives, mirroring the fragility of her own lost kits. The profound emptiness within her yearned to be filled, to nurture, to protect. With a soft, almost imperceptible sigh, Luna lowered herself to the ground, her large golden eyes fixed on the shivering bundles. Slowly, tentatively, she nudged the smallest one with her nose. It was warm, impossibly soft, and it instinctively pressed into her fur, seeking comfort. The transformation was not immediate, nor was it without its challenges. Luna, a bobcat, had never nursed puppies, nor understood their specific needs, but instinct, a force far older and deeper than species boundaries, began to guide her. She gently licked their matted fur, cleaning them with a tenderness that belied her wild nature. She curled her body around them, providing a shield against the chill of the evening and the prying eyes of potential predators. The puppies, at first confused by her scent and her unusual form, quickly recognized the warmth, the safety, the undeniable presence of a mother. They instinctively sought her belly, though, finding no milk, they found comfort in her rhythmic purr, a low rumble that vibrated through her chest and soothed their tiny, trembling bodies. Luna began to hunt with a renewed purpose, her movements sharper, her focus unwavering. She brought back small prey, mice, voles, and occasional rabbit, not for herself alone, but for the growing needs of her adopted brood. She would carefully tear off small, digestible pieces, nudging them towards the puppies, encouraging them to eat. It was a slow, painstaking process, teaching them to lap at the meat, to understand the rhythm of her care. She taught them to hide when danger approached, to stay close to her when she moved through the dense undergrowth. She groomed them meticulously, her rough tongue stimulating their circulation, keeping their fur clean and free of parasites. As the days turned into weeks, the puppies grew stronger, their eyes opening to reveal bright, curious gazes. They tumbled and played around Luna, their clumsy movements a stark contrast to her agile grace. She watched them with a fierce protectiveness, a love that transcended the boundaries of species. The sight of the bobcat mothering the canine pups was a rare and astonishing spectacle, a testament to the boundless capacity of a mother's heart. Other creatures of the forest, deer and rabbits, would occasionally pause, their heads cocked, observing the unusual family with a mixture of confusion and awe. Even the wary coyotes, usually quick to challenge, kept their distance, sensing the formidable maternal spirit that now radiated from Luna. The puppies, now young dogs, grew into healthy, boisterous adolescents, their loyalty to Luna absolute. They followed her everywhere, their barks a joyful counterpoint to her silent, stealthy movements. They learned the ways of the wild from her, not as bobcats, but as dogs shaped by a bobcat's wisdom. They learned to read the wind, to track scents, to understand the subtle language of the forest. Their bond was unbreakable, forged in the crucible of loss, and rebuilt with unconditional love. Eventually, as the puppies grew too large to remain hidden easily, and their inherent dog nature began to assert itself more strongly, Luna knew their paths would diverge. She led them one crisp autumn morning to the edge of the human world, to the scent of domesticity that would ultimately be their true home. With a heavy heart, but a profound sense of accomplishment, she watched them go, her golden eyes filled with a quiet pride. She had given them life, purpose, and love, healing her own broken spirit in the process. Luna returned to the deep woods, her solitude no longer an emptiness, but a quiet sanctuary filled with the echoes of tiny paws and the memory of an extraordinary love. She was still a creature of the wild, but she carried with her the indelible mark of a mother who had loved beyond all expectations, a testament to the incredible, boundless power of compassion. If Luna's incredible story touched your heart, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing true animal stories.